I'm waiting till 3 started. I've got my screen up for my go-to.
Yeah, no, I was just wondering if you lost your internet because I just lost mine.
Mm-mm.
And that lost again too.
No, it hasn't went anywhere.
Few people signed up for it.
They don't do that through Zoom. Right now, there's 12 in the room. What? I've got it on mute. They can't see me or hear me. Hello, everyone. Can you see me? I see there's 13 participants. Is everyone able to hear? Can you hear? You might be muted. You will have to unmute to answer. Can everyone hear now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Right.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.